This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
If you want to read the gospel according to Shrek, open your Bible to Psalm. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. Welcome to episode 73 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie he saw from beginning to end for me and you, because we like his versions better. It's okay if you've seen the movie. It's okay if you haven't seen it. The experience is unique, so let's get it on. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Across from me, our sound guy, Rick.
Salutations, humans.
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron. Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good, man.
We got a new review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, hell yeah, let's hear it. Is it you, Rick?
Yeah, you caught me.
Is it really?
No,
It's from Nemesis 303,
that's me.
titled Awesomeness. They say, loved the split-second episode,
Yeah.
with 3 exclamation points. Thank you, Nemesis 303.
All right.
The coveted 3 exclamations.
Yes, thank you so much, Nemesis. 303.
Hey, remember last week when I wanted more Blade Runner spoilers in the trailer?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? I don't get it.
Yeah, I was listening to that and I was like, what is wrong with him?
Wasn't I talking about, like, don't watch the trailers for certain movies if you don't
Yeah,
want them
man.
spoiled? And I was like, why didn't they put more in the trailer?
I don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah. Also, I was right about The Snowman.
I hear it sucked.
Yeah. The director said, too much shit went wrong during production. It's a shitty movie.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Come on, it's got Michael Fassbender in it.
Eh.
Okay.
Well, they said too much went wrong during the production, so I'm sure everyone was excited.
Okay.
Sal Roma saw it and he said he liked the killer's weapon. I don't know what that is. Was it snow, I guess?
I don't know, you see a snippet of it in the preview. It's like a gun with a wire loop,
Oh, okay.
and it just cuts heads.
No.
Nothing like cutting heads.
Yeah, that was in Audition. That's not new.
That was a piano wire. That wasn't a specially made gun.
All right, do you guys know about KFC?
Kitchen fresh cocks?
Man, there's like foreign countries listening. I don't know if they have KFC.
It stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Yeah, it's like a fast food place.
and I'm sure some of them have it.
Well, their mascot is Colonel Sanders.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
So the mascot, the Colonel, they're having for the past couple of years, they've had this rotating seat where different comedians portray him.
Yeah.
All right, and it's been fun.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we get inundated with commercials nowadays. They found a fun thing that makes us watch them.
Yeah.
Right? The newest Colonel, you watch it, you don't know who it is.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know when it's Norm Macdonald or that fucking Jim Gaffigan. People get online, they're like, who is this guy talking about the hot chicken and the Georgia Gold and shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's doing a really good job. Like, they got an actual actor to do it this time, and it's Ray Liotta.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, yeah. And Ray Liotta is like the Colonel. It doesn't matter who's portrayed him before. He's not a comedian, but he's funny, and everyone's like, what the fuck, dude? Ray Liotta. This is not an advertisement for KFC.
Wow.
Not yet.
It's an advertisement for my love of Ray Liotta. not being a gangster. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
What have I become? Try both Georgia Gold and Nashville Hot at KFC.
Oh, my God.
Pretty good, huh?
Amazing. Hey, we just got a tweet from Dennis Janssen, our man in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
He took a photo in front of the Predator 30th anniversary poster.
Oh, yeah?
And he says, would love to see this with @Movies with Ron and @Ducks Hit Chris. And if that's not possible, please let Rick play Arnie in a recap show.
30 years. Wow.
Yeah, man.
All right. We'll have to add that to the list.
Yep. We will see what we can do, Dennis. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Breaking news.
Ding, 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 ding.
Do we have? No.
Gotta be something.
Horn. Kit 8. Horn. Hear ye.
I'm loving our new bumper music.
Thank you. You all know Thor,
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy.
the God of Thunder. The Marvel movie's coming out. I think next week is Thor Ragnarok, right?
Sure as hell is, man.
Well, they made a porn parody called Whore. It's spelled WHOR.
Or
The goddess of thunder.
the third one's called Whore Grabacock.
I'll buy that for $1. Shit, we need that as a sample. Hey, y'all remember living on Patch Barracks? We lived in Germany for like 5 years.
We did?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Stuttgart.
Military stuff. Remember the library?
Nope. I remember the bowling alley and all of the bars off base.
All the buildings on the military base were the same.
Yeah.
They're just weird looking, intimidating big buildings. You'd go in a random building and be like, oh, there's the library.
Yeah.
All right, so the library had a video rental section. Do you remember that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about movies and stuff, going through the past, because I got that kind of time.
Yeah, yeah.
That was what educated me in film, basically.
Well, all right.
Yeah, because I had a library card, and I could rent anything. I could check out anything. And, that's where I got all the classic horror movies. It's where I saw The Exorcist, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It was like the friggin' library.
Hell yeah. And
Who knew?
Anyways, I was in the library one time looking for movies.
Da-dun-dun.
There was a brother and a sister. The brother's like 12 years old. I'm like 10 years old, so I'm not going to talk to him.
Yeah.
His sister is there. She's like 15, older than him.
Uh-huh.
It's silent. We're getting movies. He hands her the movie he wants. I don't know why I remember this.
Okay.
Real loud. You're not supposed to yell in a library.
Right.
She goes, put it back. We're not renting Ben-Hur again.
Oh, wow.
A fucking 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I was 10 and I knew what Ben-Hur was.
Yeah, because of our dad.
Yeah. Being on TV and stuff, I knew it was a big thing. Why would this kid love that fucking movie so much?
Yeah.
And why would he have to rent it so many times?
I know.
To get that reaction from his sister?
He just loved it, man.
Man, I don't know.
I say let the kid have the Ben-Hur.
I was kind of on the sister's side. I was like, at that age, I was like, dude, get Ghostbusters or something. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, mom happened to be there that day and she was like, shh, you're in a library.
To the kids?
To the sister. It was a big thing. He
Oh,
was like,
wow.
I love it. It's what I want. Put it back. Fucking
Wow.
Ben-Hur. I don't know. I've still never seen it.
Are you serious?
Not all the way through.
Jeez.
They killed 20 horses doing that big scene.
I know.
All those metal spikes on the wheels, those were real.
Yeah.
Goes down smooth.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I have a theory. See if you can make sense of this. Rick, if a hero decided to be a villain,
Yes.
and their skills make them as good of a villain as they were a hero, then they're a shitty hero. What do you think? Does that make sense?
No.
Agreed.
All right. That's why Alan Grant is a better hero than Captain America. You know what I mean? If Captain America became a villain, if he just decided, I'm going to take over the world and like enslave people.
Yeah.
He's like immortal, super strength, his determination. He would be a great villain if he decided to be one. That's why he's a shitty hero. Know what I mean? Alan Grant would make a terrible villain. He can't do anything. He digs up dinosaur bones. What happens in Jurassic Park? He has to rise above and grow.
Yeah, you're talking about heart versus super abilities. So number one, it doesn't make sense. Number two, boring as shit.
Find a better example.
No.
All right, fuck you guys.
You brought this up in another episode, and I didn't think it was interesting then.
I brought this up last weekend at a party.
Nothing means anything to me anymore. Can't tell podcast from reality.
Excuse me. All right, folks. Count your fingers and toes, consider the options, and make a choice. Because it's time for Jigsaw on Movies with Ron.
Prepare ship! Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts. Seal all entrances and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Cancel the three-ring circus. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Give me that, you petty excuse for an officer. Now hear this. Ludicrous speed.
Sir, hadn't you better buckle up?
Now buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go!
All right, Jigsaw. I think this is number 8. You guys seen all these movies?
I've only seen the first one.
You fucking serious?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What the hell happened?
I'm sorry, but without Carrie Elways, I'm out.
Turns out Carrie Elways came back.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Like, that's all. I stopped watching, like, after the 4th one, and or I guess maybe the 5th one. I don't fucking know. But I remember always saying, man, Carrie Elways, man, they need to bring him back. And when they didn't, I just kind of stopped watching them. And now this movie came out, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm doing Jigsaw. I better read up on the others. Turns out he came back, and I missed it.
Yeah. For like the 6th or 7th one.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. We need him on this show.
And I don't know what I would have been expecting from Carrie Elways' return, but it turns out they just turned him into another secret apprentice of Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an FOJ.
Yeah.
Because they always show up, in these movies. Oh, turns out he's working for Jigsaw the whole time. But, I read that he wasn't working for him the whole time. After he escaped the bathroom, after cutting off his foot, he cauterized it on a steam pipe, and then Jigsaw found him and nursed him back to health, and then,
So he didn't even get out?
No, never got out.
Oh, shit.
Jigsaw nursed him back to health, and then, became his friend. Carrie. But he's not in this one, so fuck it. I fucking missed it. So first of all, I'd like to say that there wasn't very many people in the theater.
Yeah.
But there were no less than 3 crying children. Up in the back with their parents. And they were showing previews to horror movies, and after every one of them, they'd be crying.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Yeah. Surprisingly quiet during the actual show, though.
Entranced.
Yeah, because after...
This is a soothing voice.
Yeah, because after the movie, they were leaving and they were all happy. And I was like, that's like totally us when we were kids. Like, we were going to the movies to see shit we shouldn't have,
Yeah.
With our dad.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Well, I'll tell you, I did cry after Alien 3.
Yeah, but you cried because you were invested and you
Yeah.
You lost Ripley.
I lost Ripley.
It didn't scare you into crying, you know?
That upset me very much.
Didn't you guys get accosted by another moviegoer who, like, yelled at Mom, "How dare you bring a child to see this movie?" And she's like, "He made me bring him."
Yeah, man, fuck that bitch. I remember her.
Oh, yeah, it was a lady?
Yeah. I hope she's listening. Come to Florida, bitch.
We're waiting for you.
You know, but what I said about Jigsaw's voice soothing the babies?
Yeah.
It's about gaga goo goo. It's a sleepy time. Yeah.
I want to play a game.
It's called Go to Sleep.
Okay, baby, go, go, papa, go, go.
All right, so we got a whole bunch of logos coming in, and then we hear a dun 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 dun. Yeah, fucking Saw music, right?
Yeah.
When it finally begins, we see like this weird circle of blades, and it's like, the fuck is that? And then some cop grabs it and like throws it out into the middle of the road, and it turns out it's one of those spike strips that they roll across to stop out of control pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just stopping a big car chase, and the car's tires are flattened, and it slams and crashes. This kid in a beanie hat jumps out and starts running, and all these beat cops, they're all chasing him and shit. He runs into a warehouse. He goes up to the roof, okay, and they're chasing him, but he's far enough ahead to where he's looking around, and he sees this red X spray painted on one of the beams over his head. Behind it, taped to the beam, is a remote detonator. He picks up the detonator. He's got it in his hand, okay? By then, all the cops find him. They're like, "Get on the ground! Stop resisting!" He turns around and he's like, "Oh, you guys, okay, chill, all right? Hey, here's the deal." He looks over at the clock tower and he's like, "Shit, in 17 minutes, you guys, 5 people are gonna fucking die, okay? Get Detective Haller in here now! I don't want these people to die, man, and I don't want to die. I have to choose who dies, either me or them. So fucking get Haller in here now." Detective Halloran shows up. I don't recognize this actor, but he's like, "Yeah, he's a hardened cop." So that guy's there and he's like, "Hey, you stupid kid, come on now. What's that thing in your hand going to detonate if you hit the button?" "Oh, these people are going to die, man. Either them or me, and I'm not dying." He's like, "Dude, don't fucking hit that button." He looks at his cop buddy, whose name is Keith, and he's like, "Aim for the detonator, man. Aim for that hand, okay? If it looks like he's going to push that button, blow his fucking hand off." Keith is like, "Yeah, man, I got you." So all the other cops are aiming at him, and then, he's like, "I'm not fucking dying." And then he goes to detonate it, and everybody shoots him in the hand. But he ends up taking one bullet to the stomach. He goes down, his hand is gone, right? And he did push the button. When he did, somewhere else we see a timer start, and it counts down 1 minute. Halloran gets up to this dude who's now like handless and bleeding on the roof, looks back at all of his buddies, and he's like, "Man, which one of you assholes shot him in the stomach?" Then it just cuts to black and says, "Jigsaw." Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. So in the game room, we have 5 assholes, and they have metal buckets on their heads. They all look like 1920s robots, from movies and shit.
Okay.
So the buckets are like locked over their heads, and there's little holes so that they can see out of them. And they have chains around their necks, which then lead into the wall in front of them, which is also covered in saw blades. Okay, so we know they're going to be pulled towards this bullshit. They're all asleep, though, okay, and they all start to kind of wake up around the same time. All except for one guy. He's kind of still sleeping. They're waking up all groggy, and then Jigsaw starts talking over the speaker, and we see there's a camera, and he can watch, right? And he's like,
"I'm sure you're all wondering why you're here. But your salvation depends upon your confession, confessing the lies that you've used to get ahead in your lives. I want to play a game."
And it's like, "Whoa, baby." On top of each bucket, there's a little red light.
"A simple blood sacrifice, no matter how small, will give you a green light and a chance to get the hell out of this room and survive."
And they're all like, "What?" And then the saw blades start up and the chains start fucking pulling them towards them. And they're all like, fucking panicking! Freaking the fuck out. You know, they're all trying to just pull the shit off of them and it's not working. And then all the way on the end, there's one dude, he's still asleep and he's just like getting dragged. He's not waking up. So this one girl who's in the bucket, she's like, oh my God, he said a blood sacrifice, no matter how small. So she just runs up to the saws and like cuts her arm a little bit. And all of a sudden, the light on her helmet goes green and the chain stops sucking her towards it. And then her bucket releases. So we see that it's some chick. Her name is Anna. She starts yelling to everybody, hey, come on, cut yourself, choke yourself. And all the others are like, oh man, this no way, okay. And, you know, some of them do it a little bit. There's one girl who's like, no fucking way. She ends up getting pulled into it and, it like cuts her back up, but immediately it releases her. So the first girl is like trying to wake up the sleeping guy. Come on, man, you gotta fucking cut yourself. Wake up, wake up. He starts to fucking wake up and then, oh shit, he just gets pulled into the fucking blades. And he dies.
Oh, jeez.
So then the other four, they walk out the doors that open up in front of them into the next room. They are still attached to their chains, and the chains begin to pull more. So it's like, you're not done, bitches.
You're not done, bitches.
So there's four of them left, and, you know, the chains stop, and we see that they are in, like, this weird barn-looking place. There's, like, hay on the floor and shit. And the pulleys that the chains are being pulled on, you know, they're all, like, old truck tires and shit. I don't know. So we're definitely in a farm setting.
So they're still being pulled to the previous room?
No, the blades that they were being pulled into were actually on the doors that opened up.
Okay, so they're constantly being pulled forward.
Yes.
All right.
So they're like, where the fuck are we? And then it cuts to the hospital where Detective Halloran and Detective Keith, they're like waiting for the beanie hat kid to wake up. Okay? He's in a hospital bed, shot in the chest or gut or whatever, and no hand. And his doctor lady is like, yeah, I'm sorry, he's in a coma. You know, you're going to be waiting a long time. And they're like, whoa, all right, fine. So then that doctor lady leaves, and I was like, she's the killer. Because these movies do that.
Yeah.
So back in the barn, they're like yelling out, you know, what do you want from us? What do you want from us? And then they start talking, hey, you know, he said, you know, we're going to have to confess our sins and our lies and shit. You know, the truth
will set you free.
And the girl's like, oh, he said it was a game. That gives me hope. Why is that? Because games can be won. Then it cuts to some chick, you know, out in the city in, you know, a park or something. And she's like, getting ready to go jogging. Yeah, she starts jogging, jogs underneath the bridge. All the people that she sees, they're like staring up at the bridge. She turns around and looks up. And that dead buckethead guy is like hanging from the bridge. Like his body has already been removed and displayed in public.
Oh, jeez.
So then we cut to this new guy named Logan. He's like playing, you know, ball with his daughter or something like that. Detective Halloran shows up and he's like, Logan, you're the best. We need you. He's like, yeah, okay. Turns out he's like just a medical examiner. He's been brought in to do the autopsy on the buckethead guy, along with his assistant, Eleanor. They find that the victim has a jigsaw piece cut out of his flesh, just like all the others in the franchise, you know? It's like, holy shit, Jigsaw's back? No way. No way, man. He's been dead 10 years. Maybe we got a copycat. Keith walks in and he's like, hey, Logan, what's up, man? We're friends. Halloran's like, how do you fucking know him, man? Oh, yeah, you know, we were in the service together or something like that. He was in Fallujah. And, yeah, he actually got, you know, captured and tortured and shit, man. It was, like, awful. But we went through that shit together. You know, he's my brother. At that point, Eleanor actually, like, sticks some tweezers into the puzzle piece wound and pulls out a little plastic-wrapped thumb drive. Written on the thumb drive is,
and then there were 4.
They put it in the computer and they play the audio file, and it is Jigsaw. And he's talking, he's like,
my games have begun again. Somewhere there are 4 people. They are going to die. I will take care of this next 4, and you will take care of the rest.
And if you know anything about the other Saw movies, it's like, oh, he's talking to somebody in this room, right? And they're like, it can't be him. No way. Back in the barn, that fucking Jigsaw doll starts riding up to the people on the tricycle. And he's got a big sign on his chest that says,
Confess.
and also a little tape recorder that says,
Play me.
they're like, fuck this.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
They start trying doors and shit. Nothing works. And then all of a sudden the doll starts doing that laugh.
Yeah.
And the chains start to pull again. Clink, 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 clink. And they're like, oh shit, fuck. And now they're just going to get pulled into the wheels, that are pulling the chains. Mm-hmm. And they're like, come on, we got to confess. It says to confess. All right. I guess, one time, I sold a bike to a kid and, he got into an accident like 10 minutes afterwards, I guess that. Nah, man, that's not right. That's not the kind of shit he wants to hear. What about you? And Anna's like, oh, it was my husband. It was his mistake. No. You're not here because of your fucking husband. This one guy takes the recorder off the doll. And at that point, the wheels that are pulling the chains just drop to the floor. So now the chains, they're just kind of hanging out of the ceiling. Also dropping out of the ceiling is this device that holds 3 hypodermic needles. Each needle has like a different number on it. So they play the tape and it's like,
one of you is a goddamn purse snatcher. Somebody died because of a purse that you fucking took. So, here's the deal. The purse snatcher in this room has been injected with a poison. In the 3 needles, one is the antidote to the poison in your body. The next is saline solution. The other is acid that's going to burn away your goddamn face. Can the purse snatcher make a decision and decide what life is worth to them?
At that point, we see a flashback of this lady's purse getting snatched by one of these people. You can't see who it is. They take the purse and it ends up getting dumped all over the ground. The lady then has like a big asthma attack, okay? The purse snatcher sees the money on the ground and an emergency inhaler. They pick up both of them and then they drop the inhaler and run off with the money. Like they could have given it to the woman and she ended up dying. So there's 2 guys and 2 girls. The first girl, Anna, that like figured out how to cut herself and get free of the bucket. And then there's like this little punk rock looking girl who is obviously a purse snatcher. They all look at her and they're like, it's you. What's going on? Come on, tell us. Tell us which one's the right one. Come on, so we can all get out of here. Either that or I'm going to stick you with all 3 of these, bitch. She's like, no way. She ends up looking at the needles and one of them says 3.53 and she's like, $3.53. They're like, what? That's how much that woman's life was worth. That's the amount of money I got out of her purse. And it's like, oh, damn, dude. Now, mind you, the chains are still pulling and they're pulling up into the ceiling. So they're all going to be hanging soon by their necks.
Damn.
The girl still won't inject herself with this needle. She's like, no fucking way, man. And this big guy, he's like, come on, God damn it. Pick one. Now they're pulled up into the air and they're all like, they are hanging by the necks and they're all struggling and fucking strangling and shit. So the guy holding the 3 needles is like swinging at the purse snatcher girl and he eventually fucking stabs her in the neck with all of them. They all drop to the floor like the chains release and we see her and she looks up at him and her eyes are already fucking bleeding. It was like that fast. And she fucking dies and like her face melts out and shit. It's pretty cool. Anna attacks the big guy Ryan and she's like, you fucking killed her.
I saved us.
There's another door with like a combination lock and they're like, hey, they look inside the needle, the $3.50 needle. Like, hey, there's more numbers inside here. Maybe it's the combination to the door. Cutting back to the autopsy room, the detectives are talking and they're like, yeah, who is this beanie hat kid? And it turns out he's like some criminal that the detective like has busted before. And they talk about some woman that he murdered like 2 years ago. Then some tech comes in and they're like, hey, we had the tape analyzed and motherfucker, that is the voice of John Kramer. John Kramer is played by Tobin Bell in all the Saw movies,
Yeah.
And he is the Jigsaw killer. The original, anyway.
The last one I saw, he was like dying of cancer.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
He indeed died. And then it turned out there were FOJs, friends of Jigsaw, that were like keeping it going.
He had like pre-recorded future movies
right,
for them.
Right. And they're like, somewhere there are 4 more victims fighting for their lives. So it cuts to those victims. So when they killed the girl with the hypodermic needles, all of their chains unlocked. So now they are free of the chains. They've made it through this other combination door. And in this next room, there's like 3 other doors, but one of them is spray painted no exit. There is a small barred window. Ryan looks out of it and says, okay, we're definitely in the countryside somewhere, but I don't see any landmarks, you know. How the hell do we get out of here? Well, he said we're going to have to confess our sins. So, you, Ryan, what's your sins, you know? I sold bad mortgages and good coke. You know, I cheated on both of my wives. I don't know. What are yours? And Anna is like, we lost our baby. And it turns out that her husband fell asleep next to the baby and then rolled onto it and smothered it. She's like, so I don't understand why I'm here to be punished for what he did. Ryan picks up a shovel and he starts going for the door marked no exit. The other guy, Mitch, is like, hey man, can't you fucking read? What's going on here? Oh yeah. So I'm supposed to go where he wants me to go? Fuck that. I'm going out this door. When he approaches the no exit door, he falls through this wooden porch that he's on. And his leg gets caught in a fucking trap. And it's like covered in all these fucking piano wires that are all super tight on his leg, okay? If they get any tighter, they're going to slice it up into like salami. Looking down into this wire contraption, he sees another recorder that says play me. And he's like, hey, Mitch, would you get that recorder, please? Mitch won't fucking reach his hand in because he knows, his arm will probably get cut off. Anna's looking down in there and she's like, yeah, I see a handle down here. Well, don't fucking touch it. All right. They get the recorder and Jigsaw's like,
there are no shortcuts in life. Because you didn't play by the rules, now you are trapped in this fucking leg trap right here. If you simply pull the handle, you will be set free.
And they're all like, oh yeah, pull the handle, man. He's like, nah, man, don't you understand? If I pull that, what does he mean by I'm going to be set free? I'm going to cut my own fucking leg off. No fucking way. I'm not pulling this handle. So he has decided to just sit there. Cutting back to the doctors, they're like, yeah, we found some blood under his fingernails and also pig shit. So they're getting all forensic, It's probably happening on a farm somewhere. Then somebody walks in and they're like, hey, we found a new victim. She's right outside. They go out in front of the hospital and, yep, there is the acid-melted purse snatcher girl. Mm-hmm. With her face all melted through. And Logan is like, yeah, it looks like hydrofluoric acid to me. How do you know about hydrofluoric acid? Oh, I used to see it in Fallujah. Never injected into somebody's body, though. They look at her tongue, and there is a jigsaw cut out of it. Detective Halloran's talking to Keith, and he's like, yeah, what do you think about this Logan guy? Yeah, I know him real good from the service, man. He's like my brother, whatever. What do you think about Eleanor? Yeah, she's got a great ass, but she's a little too interested in all this death shit. Something seems fishy. Back in the barn, Ryan is like, oh, you want me to confess? Fuck yeah, all right, I confess that this is fucked up. So he's sitting there trapped, and the other two find an unlocked door that leads them into an empty grain silo. Inside, there's a remote control for a television hanging on a wire. Mitch lifts Anna up to grab it. As soon as she pulls it off the wire, the door slams shut and locks. Out there, stuck in the leg trap, Ryan's like, hey, there's a TV screen here, and it just turned on. Yeah, there's one in here too. Now we see the fucking Jigsaw doll, and he's like,
I want to play a game. All your lives, you have chosen your own interests over others. You've manipulated the truth. And now you have to choose others over yourself. You can't escape the truth. There is only one person that can help you two out of the silo. Ryan, it is you. If you pull the lever before the other two are buried alive, you can set them free.
And then the silo starts to fill up with fucking grain, okay? And
make your choice.
They start crying and fucking begging him to pull the lever. And he's like, no fucking way. Not cutting off my own leg. Back with Detective Halloran, he's talking to Eleanor, the assistant medical examiner. And she's like, yeah, I can't believe I'm working on Jigsaw cases, man. This is so fucking cool. Yeah, you seem a little too happy to be doing this. Where were you the night that Buckethead guy died? I was at home by myself. Can you prove it? Do I have to? You just might. The two detectives go to Logan and they're like, are you familiar with a website called Jigsaw Rules? And he's like, no, what the hell's that? It's part of the dark net, and a bunch of fans of Jigsaw, the old serial killer from 10 years ago, they all hang out on this website and post shit. And we found out that your assistant has been posting on it. So it's pretty coincidental that she actually works here. Why don't you tell us how that came to be? Oh, well, she just chose here, for her residency, and then, I decided to keep her on. She was so good at this job. She walks in and she's like, I've identified the blood under his fingernails. It is the blood of John Kramer. And they're like, what the fuck? And yep, it's a total DNA match. So it's like he left a sample of his blood. Back to the barn, Ryan is not pulling the fucking handle. There's so much grain in this silo now, they are buried up to their necks. Okay? The grain then stops. And then shit starts falling from the ceiling like pitchforks and saw blades and knives and shit. One of the knives goes into Mitch's shoulder, and he's like, oh shit, man, come on, we're gonna die. There's a saw blade that falls down right in front of Anna's face. Mm-hmm. It's like a moment from the preview. So they're pretty much fucked.
We're going to Big Park!
Right then, Ryan's like, okay, you know what, all right, I'll do it. He pulls the lever, and yep, his leg gets sliced into 4 separate sections.
Jesus.
And it's clean through the meat and bone. Beautiful. So he's on the ground screaming, and then the door opens up, and they just spill out with the grain. As an added bonus, Anna almost gets impaled on another pitchfork that was out there in that room. Now we cut to Logan. They're off of work now, and he's walking into a bar, and then he finds Eleanor there. He's talking to her. He's like, yeah, Detective Halloran, he's looking to lay some blame on somebody. She's like, yeah, I think he wants to blame me because I'm a fan of Jigsaw. What the fuck, man? He's like, yeah, what is going on? Why? Yeah, I don't know, but they're watching my house. I don't quite know what to do. What's up with Halloran anyway? Do you know him? Yeah, I used to work on some of his cases before, and turns out he was responsible for the death of some little girl because he fucked up his job somehow. So I'm not a big fan of his. Because Logan, he's a single dad, and he's a straight shooter. Eleanor's like, yeah, here's the thing. I told him when Buckethead died, I was at home by myself, but that's not true. And I'm a little worried about where I actually was incriminating me. And he's like, where were you? At my studio. Okay, why don't you show it to me? She takes him to this weird old fucking warehouse, okay? They don't know it, but Detective Keith is following them. Uh-huh. So they get in the elevator and go up. She takes her into his studio, and it is a fucking Jigsaw torture device workshop. And it is filled with torture devices from all the previous movies, like the reverse bear trap mask. Uh-huh. There's I don't know, something with a gun in front of your face, and then there's vices that grip your chest and shit. And Logan says, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm just a fan, I've recreated all of this stuff, and now it's totally going to make me look like I'm the killer. But isn't it fascinating? This is my hobby. How about you collect stamps or some shit? That's a hobby. He walks over and finds this new kind of trap that we've never seen before, and it's like a big inverted cone with a giant red spiral blade inside of it. He's like, what the hell's that? Oh, this is fucking awesome. Okay, check this out. They say this is a trap that Jigsaw made before any of his killings. Okay, this is the first thing he ever made. They found blueprints to it in his shop. They're posted on the internet now. That's how I was able to make this. But they say that he did actually build one. We see Detective Keith, and he is taking pictures. We cut to the hospital, and the beanie hat kid from the roof, he's still in his coma, and then somebody unseen injects something into his IV bag, and he wakes up, and then he is kidnapped. So we see real quick that Anna is tourniqueting. Is that a word?
It is now.
Yeah.
Applying a tourniquet.
Yeah, to Ryan's leg. Back with the cops, they are now investigating these 2 medical examiners on the internet. Detective Halloran's Googling Logan. And it's he was a war hero, and he was captured in Fallujah and then heavily tortured. He's like, oh yeah, well, I still don't trust him. Halloran gets a phone call, and he's like, what? He's in a fucking coma. How did he just disappear? Somebody's telling him, hey, the mayor, he's pretty upset because the city is Jigsaw is back. And the mayor wants Jigsaw's body exhumed so that we can prove that he's dead. And Halloran's like, man,
Jesus, he's dead. He's been dead for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So back in the barn, now that Ryan's leg is cut off and he's, stable-ish, there's a tractor in the room and its lights turn on. Mitch walks over to it and there's a little red X on this engine compartment. He opens it up and there's another tape recorder in there that just says Mitch. So he plays it and the voice of Jigsaw says,
Mitch, years ago you sold a motorcycle to a young man, despite the fact that you knew it had faulty brake lines.
and we see a flashback of him yeah, man, it's all good. Here, take it. And this kid rides off with it. And Mitch had put his foot over the brake fluid that was on the ground.
Yeah.
You sold it to him anyway, and he died on his way home.
And it turns out he had no brakes and got hit by a garbage truck.
Oh, jeez.
This was my nephew.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He lost his life because of your fucking lies. And now I want to play a game.
And then this fucking chain thing that was underneath all the hay on the ground, snares Mitch's feet. And he gets pulled up into the air. And then another big trap gets unveiled. A cloth drops or something like that. And it's the big cone with the red spiral blade in it.
Oh, wow.
That Eleanor had said, people say he actually built one. Up at the top of the cone, there's a motorcycle. And one of its wheels is gone, but as the motorcycle runs, it turns a cog that spins this big cone with the blade in it. Mitch is then suspended over it. Okay, now he's going to be lowered into the cone, which descends in size, of course. At the very bottom of the cone, there is a motorcycle handbrake. And Jigsaw's
rest assured that my version brakes just fine.
So he has to just stay in the middle of the cone as he's lowered down it, and then he can stop the motorcycle with the handbrake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it starts to lower him in, and he's flipping the fuck out. Anna grabs a piece of rebar, actually climbs up to the motorcycle, and jams it stopped. And she's like, fuck yeah! Mitch is like, oh my god, thank fucking god. Holy shit, good job, good job. And then the rebar breaks, pow! And the whole thing just starts fucking spinning again. Mitch goes ahead and reaches for the brake, but he got caught by the spiral blade.
Uh-huh.
And just totally fucking sliced up and mangled.
Oh, jeez.
Sliced like a spiral ham. And then the contraption just dumps his body out. It was pretty cool. Cutting to John Kramer's exhumation, Keith is there watching it, and he's talking to Halloran on the phone. He's like, yeah, they're pulling the casket out now. They open it up. It's the beanie hat kid inside the casket.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, man. The one that was just kidnapped from the hospital. And he has a puzzle piece cut out of his face. Keith goes and shows the photos of Eleanor's torture studio to Halloran. And he's like, oh, holy shit. All right, let's get a warrant. Fucking get in there. So they storm the studio. And they're looking at all the shit oh my god, this bitch was right under our fucking nose. Holy shit. Halloran notices a secret door in one of the walls. And he pushes it open. They're all standing there with guns ready. They open it up, and it's just a big news headline collage about the Jigsaw killer. So she is, if you didn't think she was obsessed before, sitting right there in the center of it is the hacksaw from Saw 1 that Cary Elwes had to cut his foot off with.
Damn.
Halloran sees a string hanging down to turn on the lights. He pulls it, and then all of a sudden, Mitch's fucking sliced up body just falls down out of the ceiling. And they're like, holy shit, fuck. That's it. Let's bring these fuckers in. Halloran's like, you go for Logan and I'll go get the girl. On Mitch's sliced up body, there's a note that says, and then there were two. So Keith goes to Logan's house to pick him up. Logan's getting out of bed and he shits up, and we see all of these fucking scars from his torture in fucking Fallujah. So we're like, oh, okay, he's been through some shit. He answers the door and Keith is like, yo, man. Gonna need you to come with me. And he holds up the handcuffs. Logan's like, dude, I'm telling you, it's not me. And it's not Eleanor either. Well, who do you fucking think it was? He's like, I think it was Halloran. Because, he was such a dirty cop and shit, He's responsible for this little girl's death and everything. And let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. When you guys were all on that roof, and you were all aiming for the beanie hat kid's hand, did anyone look at where Halloran was aiming? And he's like, no. What kind of gun do you carry? And he tells him. He's like, yeah, that's a pretty standard issue for cops, you know. What kind of gun does Halloran carry? And it's a different gun. And he's like, dude, let me pull the bullet out of that kid's body. He's like, yeah, all right. So they're back at the hospital, and he pulls the bullet out of Beanie Hat Kid's stomach, and it matches Detective Halloran's gun.
Oh, jeez.
At that point, Logan's like, does Detective Halloran know that you are internal affairs and that you are investigating him? Keith's like, man, how the fuck did you know that? Fuck yeah, Halloran is a dirty motherfucking cop, and we have been on to him for a long time. So this whole Jigsaw shit, this really ramps things up. All right, I'll go get him, and I'll take you home. So he takes Logan home, and inside Logan's house is fucking Eleanor, and she's like hiding out there. Mm-hmm. Like, they're fucking following me. They're trying to get me. I don't know what to do. Like, oh, well, shit, you know, it's a really bad time to have a giant studio full of torture devices, you know? She's like, yeah, but guess what? Because I'm such a good medical examiner, I've traced to where the pig shit came from, and I know the farm where this fucking game is happening right fucking now. He's like, well, let's tell the cops. No fucking way. Halloran's fucking in on it. We're going ourselves. And she holds up her own gun. Like, let's do this. Vigilante justice. And we know that she's such a big Jigsaw fan, she really just kind of wants to see it happening.
Yeah.
But Logan, you know, he's a family man. It's like, fuck it. Let's go stop some killers. All right. So he goes along with her harebrained plan. As they leave the house, we see that Halloran is outside watching them, and he follows them. Logan's like, man, I don't even understand why Halloran would want me involved in this bullshit. You know, he's like trying to pin it on you and me. I don't know why he fucking wants to pin it on me. I didn't do anything. Yeah, but didn't you humiliate him a couple of years ago? Like saying he was a dirty cop and incompetent and letting that little girl die? Well, I mean, yeah. So Halloran's got an axe to grind. Back in the barn, now that Mitch has died, Anna starts freaking out, and she actually ends up breaking open an exit to the barn. But it only opens up a little way because it's like kind of still chained shut. She starts wiggling out through the door and is halfway out when she looks up and sees a fucking person standing there wearing a pig mask, who then reaches down and stabs a fucking needle into her neck, and she passes out. So then her and Ryan wake up, and they are in like a, you know, it's a pig farm, so it's like, I guess where they fucking
make the pig masks.
It's where they slaughter them, but there's all these weird things on the wall, almost like pig milking machines. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's where the pigs die.
Pig milk. That's a good market there.
Hell yeah, right? Pig milk. That's the name of my band. So they wake up and they're chained to the walls on either side of the room. And this figure is standing in the middle, like tinkering with some cogwheels and shit. And the pig mask is on the table, but the figure has its hood pulled over its head. They wake up and they're like, what's going on? Hey, who are you? What's happening? And we start to hear dun 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 dun. And then the person pulls the hood off, and it's fucking John Kramer. Fucking alive, motherfucker.
And he's like standing there, like working on this cogwheel.
And it's like, holy shit. Ryan is like, man, who the fuck are you? But Anna recognizes him. Holy shit. You're John Kramer. You're fucking John Kramer. Oh my God. What's happening? What are you doing to us?
You're about to play a game. This game is your final test. It's Ryan's final test.
Ryan's like, what? Nah, man. And he points at his leg and he's like, I fucking passed my test, asshole.
It's like, no, you didn't. That wasn't your test. In fact, that was totally unnecessary, because if you had simply followed the rules, you know, because it said no exit,
yeah,
then your game would have gone much differently.
So, Ryan's still fucked. He still has to go through his own shit.
Yeah.
It turns out, Ryan, that you are responsible for not one, but 3 different deaths. And you've been lying about it your whole goddamn life.
And we see flashbacks to when Ryan was like in high school, and he was out drinking with his buddies, and they're in a convertible, and he's drinking, and he stands up in the car, and the driver's like, whoa, man, you're drunk. Chill, man. And the driver reaches back to pull him back down into the car when Ryan just falls out of the car. Okay, and it's like, oh shit, because they were going, sort of fast. So the driver freaked out, and when he turned back around to face the road, he hit something and crashed and died. And it turns out that Ryan lied about the whole thing. Yeah, he was drunk. He said he was responsible for 3 deaths. I can't remember the other 2. But it's not really important. Ryan's like, fine, man. You know what? Yeah, I did it. Okay, I want to live. I want to live. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I felt the same way when I found out that I had cancer. And maybe if somebody hadn't mixed up the names on the x-rays, my cancer would have been found a lot sooner.
And it shows 2 x-rays. One is a normal person, and the other is someone with cancer in their brain. And the name tag of John Kramer gets stuck to the normal x-ray. So it was all a big mix-up as to why he didn't get diagnosed quicker.
But because they found it late, I had to go through chemotherapy. While I was doing chemotherapy, my neighbor was Anna, right here.
And Anna's like, yeah, fuck that shit. God damn it.
They always helped me during my chemo days, and it was very sweet, and I thank you very much.
And it shows, cancer patient John Kramer, sitting in his house, drawing a tricycle,
this is what I'm going to put the doll on.
When next door, it's his neighbor Anna and her husband, and sometimes they're fighting, whatever, but they have a new baby.
Yeah, I know those times were hard on you, being a new mother.
And the baby is fucking crying constantly, and it's starting to drive Anna crazy.
If only your husband hadn't fallen asleep. If only he hadn't fallen asleep and rolled over on the baby. It's all his fault, isn't it, Anna?
No.
He's like, that's right.
And we see that he's listening through the wall at the baby crying, and then Anna's like, God damn it, shut up, stop crying. And then the baby just stops crying. And Jigsaw's like, huh. So she killed the baby, she smothered it, and then planted it next to her husband sleeping on the bed. So that when he woke up, he thought that he rolled over onto it and smothered it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So he went crazy and was committed and then hung himself. So that's the 2 deaths that Anna is responsible for.
Awesome. Kill her.
So now, what are you going to do? You have to assume responsibility for what you've done.
At this point, the 2 medical examiners show up at the farm, and they're talking about it, and Eleanor's like, yeah, it turns out this pig farm, this was in Jigsaw's wife's family, and still is, so, I don't know why nobody ever searched it. But, yeah, this is totally happening right now. Let's go in. Halloran shows up behind him in his car. Keith is trying to call him, because remember, he wants to bring him in for questioning. They have gotten a warrant, and they're in Halloran's house, searching it. Somebody's like, hey, Agent Keith, you better check this out. They open up his freezer. There's a fucking sandwich bag full of all of the little puzzle pieces that have been cut out of the flesh of the victims.
Oh, jeez. Out of all the movies? That's a big bag.
Nah, there's only 5 of them.
Okay.
The 2 doctors walk into the barn, and they find the chains hanging from the ceiling that the victims got released from, They look in through these open doors, and it's like, oh, there's all the buckets, and the saw blades in the doors, Shit was just happening here. They walk in, and Logan's like, dude, this is so much fucking blood. Holy shit. Eleanor's holding up her gun. She's like, see, I fucking told you. It's fucking Jigsaw. No, Jigsaw is dead. Is he? Is he, though? And we cut to the pig milking room, and Jigsaw's like,
okay, did you know that pigs are highly compassionate animals? They don't like to see any suffering, even from humans.
So he's working on this set of cogs still, while he's talking to him.
He's like, the 2 of you have had my message. You've gotten it backwards. So now here is your final game, and it's a very simple game.
He holds up a sawed-off shotgun, and he holds up 1 shell, and he says,
this is the key to your freedom.
He puts it in the gun.
1 shotgun, 1 shell.
And then he walks out of the room. And he goes, good luck. So Logan and Eleanor, they're like still exploring and shit, and they find the silo room with the big fucking inverted cone spiral shit. And then Halloran busts in, and he's like, I'm going to take you two in. Fuck you. And they're like, fuck you. You're the killer. And they all get into a fight. Okay. Eleanor ends up escaping. And during the fray, we see Halloran gets drugged with a hypodermic needle as well, like from the unseen figure, being Jigsaw, obviously. So he and Logan got captured. Cutting back to Anna and Ryan. Okay, now they're alone in the room with the shotgun. Anna's looking at it, and she's like, he said that this is my only key to freedom. Ryan's like, no. Okay, don't do it. All right, don't fucking kill me, because he has no leg. So it's not very easy for him to get the gun, which is up on the table in the center. Anna's like, no, he wants me to kill you. Okay, that's what's happening. No, that's not what he wants, you fucking bitch. She picks up the gun and aims it at him, and he's like, wait a minute. No, don't do it. She's like, yeah, no, this is it. This is the key to my freedom. Wait, he said we got his message backwards. And then she fires, and the gun backfires right into her face.
Damn.
Yeah, so she falls down dead. Ryan is sitting there like, oh, God, no. He has no leg, and he's chained to the wall, okay? He crawls up to her body and the shotgun, also the spent shell that is, sitting on the floor, and he sees a little key that is all bent up and smashed and shit that's fallen out of the shotgun shell. And he's like, oh, fuck. And we see a little cutscene of Jigsaw himself, like, pressing the shotgun shell himself. And as he's doing that, he puts 2 keys inside of it. So had they just, like, opened up the shotgun shell, they could have escaped together. Ryan sees the second key that matches his lock, and he knows he is totally fucked. And he just starts screaming. And he's crying, and he's looking at Anna's body, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. Basically apologizing to everyone that he's fucked over, I guess. So at that point, we cut to Halloran and Logan, and they wake up, and they are in a game of their own now. They each wake up in a collar. These collars are made out of the little laser cutters that they used to cut off the bucket head in the beginning of the movie at the autopsy. So like high-tech future technology.
Yeah.
Halloran's like, what the fuck are these? Man, these are fucking laser cutters, man. Like, what the fuck? This is the same shit. Same shit Eleanor was using. But now we hear Jigsaw talking to him.
He's like, here we are. And now you're playing your own game. Here's the thing. Here's what you have to do. You guys have fucking lasers, okay, on your fucking necks. And they're gonna slice your fucking heads off. And you each need to admit to reasons why you deserve to die. If you can do that, you live.
So these collars, they're actually tethered to the wall behind them. So it's not like they can just run outside in the collars, He stands them up in front of this box with a button on each side. And he's like,
in 60 seconds, one of you will be chosen to go first at random. Or you guys can choose to go first. Make your choice.
And then the buttons light up. Logan's like, man, let's just wait the 60 seconds and let it choose at random who has to start talking first. Jigsaw was like,
I will be listening.
Halloran's like, no, you know what? It's fine. All right. I know I'm a piece of shit, so I'll go first. And he steps up to the buttons, and then he pushes Logan's button. And the tether, like, drags him back into this little alcove, and then his lasers fucking turn on, but they're pointed straight up. So his head is just inside of a laser cage.
Yeah.
All right. And he's like, I don't know what you want me to say. God damn it. What's going on? And then all the lasers, like, they change direction and they point just a little bit closer to his head. So eventually they're all going to be like pointing together like a wagon wheel or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, fine. You know what? Fine. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Kramer, I'm sorry. I'm the one who fucked up your x-rays.
Oh, shit.
And it shows him doing it. And he's just like a fucking guy, an x-ray tech. Yeah, putting the fucking wrong names on, He's like, there, I did it. I confessed. And then the laser's like, get a little bit closer. And it's not stopping. And he's like, oh shit, I don't know what else, oh my God. And then he says his daughter's name, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I love you. And then the lasers, fuck that, they just close in, and all of this blood explodes around his fucking head, and he just fucking falls down dead.
Damn.
So, yeah, killed him anyway. It's all good.
Now, Detective Halloran, it's your turn.
And his fucking lasers turn on, and his tether pulls him back into his own little alcove. He's like, okay, all right. I admit I have done a whole lot of shitty stuff, okay? All right, fine. You know what? I took bribes, okay? I took bribes, and I let fucking criminals walk, so that I could have money, and you know what? Okay, fine. Innocent people died because of me. And then his lasers turn off. And he's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh. He's like catching his breath and shit, and he looks up above him, and he sees the ceiling is all burnt from the lasers, right? Uh-huh. And he looks over at Logan's body, and he looks up above him, and his ceiling is not burnt. And we start to hear dun 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 dun, and then Logan fucking stands up, and he pulls his collar off, and we see all these little fake blood packs on the inside of his collar. So they were just like safe lasers.
Yeah.
And he faked his death right then, and it's all dun 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 dun. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Detective Halloran. What the fuck, man? What are you doing? I thought this was Jigsaw. I am Jigsaw, motherfucker. 10 years ago, there was a game played here, right in this very room. And then he grabs a sheet and throws it aside, and we see the two dried out husk corpses of Anna and Ryan. So their whole game took place 10 years ago, back when Jigsaw was still alive.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. If you'll remember Eleanor talking about the spiral trap device, she was like, yeah, they say he designed this before any of his killings.
Yeah.
And Logan explains that he was part of the game because he fucked up the names on the x-rays. And we see through a flashback that he was the guy in the bucket hat that didn't wake up until he was almost in the buzzsaws. Okay? So when the 4 survivors of that game went through their doors, it turns out that Jigsaw was there, and he saved this guy real quick. He's like, you know what? I had a change of heart, and he was going to die because of a simple fucking mistake. I fucked up his dosage or whatever, and he didn't deserve to die because of that. Oh. But he had still gotten pulled into the saws and was cut up all over his back. So now we know why he had the scars.
Yeah.
And Logan's like, yeah, man. Then he nursed me back to health. And I became his apprentice.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he starts talking to Halloran, and he's like, yeah, you motherfucker, you've been letting all these criminals go and shit. Halloran's like, what about the fresh victims we've been finding? He's like, those are criminals that you let walk for your own personal gain. I just found some that kind of seemed like the original victims. And I took them all and I put them in a game of their own. 4 of them. And the last 2 players, yeah, they were you and me. I really wanted to see if I had what it took to be Jigsaw, without him. And it turns out that 2 years ago, the beanie hat guy killed Logan's wife. In a robbery or something like that. And he's one of the criminals that Halloran let walk. So then we see a flashback of fucking John Kramer, right? Jigsaw and Logan. In a barn working on some machines. They're building stuff together. And Logan, who has PTSD, I guess, from his game with the fucking buzzsaws and shit. And he also knows that his friend John Kramer is about to die of cancer. He starts crying. And then Jigsaw just looks at him and he's like,
we can never come from vengeance. You taught me that. They have to choose.
Yeah, but then there's no justice.
Yes, there is, because we are here and we will speak for the dead.
At that point, Logan looks at Detective Halloran and he's like, yeah, it's me, baby, that's right. I'm the original FOJ. And I speak for the dead. And then he hits a button, and Halloran's lasers ignite, and then they just immediately close down on his head. His head opens up like a big fucking blood flower. It's fucking beautiful looking. And then we see Logan, and he just like slams a sliding metal door shut, just like Jigsaw did at the end of the original movie.
Yeah.
And then the credits roll, baby. Dun 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 dun.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it. So there you have it. Jigsaw on Movies with Ron.
What about Eleanor?
She had actually escaped for real, and Logan was planning on blaming everything on her.
Oh, yeah?
Since she had that studio, and like he knew what she was before she told him.
Uh-huh.
And that's why he like kept her on as his employee.
So that's like a sequel opportunity there?
Yeah.
It seems like cheating, because the whole thing about all the stuff that was happening 10 years ago, that's only for our benefit.
I know.
So it's cheating.
A little bit. And they didn't really get too inventive or involved with all of the traps and shit. I really think this was kind of like a test for Hollywood to see if we were still interested in Saw movies.
Yeah.
Like they were just kind of dipping their toe in the water.
Turns out only recent mothers want to see it.
I guess.
The shotgun thing seemed lazy.
Well, they addressed that. He was like,
The game is simple.
Okay.
you know?
I realize this is, you know what? 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
So that part was before any of the Saw movies, from what I gather?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like a prequel sequel.
It was a prequel sequel.
Damn. Well, they get points for that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like,
Turns out I didn't have cancer. He switched the labels.
I thought that at first as well. I was like, please let it be a twin brother.
fucking twin brother. I'm waiting for like, this might have happened in the last sequel.
Yeah.
Where it's the final game, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's the final person. And it's like, these are the jigsaw pieces I've collected from all my victims. You must put together the jigsaw puzzle.
Can you finish the puzzle in time?
Well, Rick, Jigsaw, what'd you think?
I guess it's the traps that make these interesting.
Certainly.
You know,
Oh, you know what?
I forgot a trap.
no trap gets left behind.
Well, in a way. But at the end of the flashback where Logan and Jigsaw were making something, the camera pans back and we see they were building the very first reverse bear trap that they ended up putting onto Shawnee Smith.
Ah,
The girl from Becker.
In the 1980s Blob.
Yeah.
That's where I fell in love with her.
She played the crazy bitch in The Stand.
Yeah. Crazy bitch.
Bumpty bump.
My life for you.
you know something crazy?
Huh.
We were talking about that Under Siege death. You know the main chick from that movie who busted out of the cake? I think we talked about that.
Yeah, titties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out, and I didn't know this, that actress is the first one to die in the remake of The Blob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she gets all melted and her boyfriend like tries to put his hand down her pants or some shit, and then it's
Down her shirt because her tits were just as amazing in that movie. I remember her now because of the tits.
Yep. I had no idea. That was horrific. Ugh.
God bless her.
There you go.
All right. I guess I got to watch The Blob now. All right, folks. If you're on Apple Podcasts, we'd love it if you'd leave us a rating and a review.
Yeah.
We got a Facebook page. There's Twitter, @MoviesWithRon. Check us out. It's been fun.
We love you.
Take care, guys.
Gary, make your choice. Gary, what will you do?
Okay.
Murder your best friend or be late to work for the 3rd time this week? Make your choice. Make your choice, Will you synergize and get out of here, or be trapped in the office for the fourth time this quarter?
Jesus, what did you just watch that yesterday?
No, man, I just remember him.
Gary.
You know what we're talking about?
Yes. I'm focusing on the intro, though.
Yeah, he's like
His little doll
tapping
hand.
him awake.
Gary. Gary. You are surrounded by mousetraps. Gary.
Ready?